Hi, class. Welcome once again to another week here at Beetle University. I hope everyone is well and happy and all of that good stuff. We have a very cool song to talk about this week. You're going to be getting two hunks of audio all about the song Because, which of course is on the Abbey Road album, and it is a John Lennon composition, and it's a little bit unconventional, even for a guy like John Lennon, who wrote all sorts of unconventional songs. Basically, the song is shapeless. It's a list of comments and questions and observations, and there's not really a chorus or a bridge to the song. There is a slight deviation at one point, but ultimately it really has no form, which is unusual, like I said, even for a guy like John Lennon. Now, Yoko Ono was a concert pianist when she was much younger than when she had known John and Paul and George and Ringo. And she was playing the piano one day, and she was playing Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata. And John was very interested with that and those chords, and he liked the way it sounded, and he asked her to play it backwards. From that, he began writing Because. Now, he was trying to avoid the nonsense words that he had been writing lately. He had some unusual phrases in Come Together. Of course, I Am the Walrus and Dig a Pony were a little bit unusual, even for John Lennon's standards. He was trying to write more honest, and in July of 1969, with the influence of Yoko Ono, he began writing the song, which featured all sorts of nature images. He talks about the world and the sky and the earth above and things such as that. Now, of course, John Lennon knew about nature, and he had learned quite a bit from Maharishi while in India practicing his transcendental meditation and learning about that. So he'd been very aware of nature, and his songs in the early 70s really reflect that as well. But here in 1969, he was very, very conscious about writing about the earth. Now, he hadn't written about love in a while, and he does mention love in the song quite profoundly, too, which was, again, something that John was trying to get back to. He knew that he had these good ideas that he had done in the past. He was relatively happy with the way he had written them, and of course they had great success, so he felt that he had achieved something. Well, he now wanted to kind of get back to some of that and apply some of the things that he had learned since then, basically a recipe, if you will. He made a demo and he played it for the others. The lyrics were a little bit different at the time, but on August 1st of 69, very late in the Abbey Road sessions, Because was the last new song to be introduced to the band. He played it, and George Martin suggested a harpsichord, which John was very enthusiastically for because he said it would give it a very good classical-sounding feel to it. Now, Paul, John, and George Martin recorded the basic track of the song. Paul played the bass, John plays the piano, I believe, and George Martin plays the harpsichord. After that, George, John, and George Harrison, this is now, John and Paul worked really hard on the harmonies, and they knew that they needed a big, lush production to it, and they knew that they needed to be very, very meticulous in how they recorded it. On one microphone, with the three of them scattered around it, standing in positions, they sang and rehearsed and tried it again and again and again until they finally got it right. Each accent needed to be pre-planned and executed just properly. Ultimately, they did this twice, so there are three-part harmonies. Ultimately, there's 9 singing Beatles on the song. Now, we don't hear Ringo on the record, but with the hi-hat, he was tapping the cymbal and keeping a beat, and they were listening to this in their headphones. His influence was really incredible, even on this song, where we don't actually hear him. His timekeeping was unbelievably accurate, and they were able to sing together and know where they were in the song because of Ringo. His influence is outstanding. While they were recording, it took a while, and there was a bit tense. They got a little bit snippy with one another. There might have been some feistiness. But ultimately, they knew that they needed to work really hard to make it as good as it can be, and this is a great example of just how good the Beatles can be when they got along and played nice. George would add the Moog synthesizer at the very beginning, and with that, it was all done, and of course, this leads into the big medley on the album. We'll be talking more about that in the weeks to come. Until then, please watch your email, and thank you a million times over. I am Professor Muptup.